Hi everyone, I hope you are all very well and welcome back to the second video of my YouTube. I've been a little bit inconsistent with my YouTube just because I've just become so busy because it's year 11. However, I am going to keep consistent with this because that was like one of my goals, just to keep consistent with YouTube. So this video is how I like to study and things that you actually need to know and like take knowledge of when you study. So being in year 11, I have like gone through year 7, year 8, year 9 and year 10. And year 7, year 8, year 9, I didn't really care about, like, I said I didn't really care, but like I didn't put in effort to study because it was all pretty much quite straightforward content. Then you come to year 10 and you're kind of like, right, this is GCSEs. This is actually things that I need to like focus on and things that I need to actually revise for. So I didn't really know how to revise in year 10, but I have actually found a lot of revision techniques that I will be sharing with you guys that I've actually acquired in year 11 with the help of my like teachers, my family, my friends. And yeah, so I am going to share with you revision techniques that I think help me achieve the grades that I'm getting at the moment. So I'm currently getting like 7s to 9s, and I would like to show you how I revise. So for a lot of my subjects, it's just memorization. For example, Latin, it's just memorization. And for what else is memorization? Just like key content. But when I get to sciences especially, I love to have a whiteboard. Now, I've been meaning to get a bigger one because this one is quite small. But what I do is I just get a topic, for example, homeostasis, which is what I was doing today. I blurt out everything that I know and anything that I didn't put in for example, subtopics. So I was doing the nervous system and the eye. I blurted it all out on my whiteboard earlier, and anything that I didn't really capture, I got a different colour whiteboard pen and I just filled it in, and that's what I keep doing. I also use the whiteboard to like learn content as well as revise it. So I would just grab a revision guide and just go through a topic, but instead of writing it on paper, I do it on my whiteboard because I can visualize it better, and I don't really care about my handwriting on my whiteboard. I feel like when it comes to paper, I really care about whatever I write, and yeah, it bothers me. And then I have a massive folder which contains heaps and heaps of like stuff. So I'm going to take you through this. So at the beginning of my folder, the first few like pages, it's more like more revision notes. And what I've actually done is, so my school actually made us this, like, they gave us this document and it has the exam, like I had to add in my extra subjects that I do, but they've actually given us the exam date and the subjects that are happening for GCSEs. So, for example, I've written down the week beginning 4th of May, and that week I actually have my Latin language GCSE exam, AM in the morning. So I've written that down, and I've genuinely just kept like this timetable sort of thing, so I know what to prioritise and what to like not prioritise at the moment. But obviously I am trying to cover everything. I also, so we recently just had our mocks, and for example, this is just the first part of like the maths paper, and I've just highlighted a question that I've got wrong. So any questions I've got wrong, I've just highlighted. For example, this second question, it was converting a fraction to a recurring decimal. I'm not sure how I really got that wrong, but I've highlighted it and I know to go over it now. Also, this is a maths checklist that I actually found online. So if you've noticed, I really like keeping checklists for my work. It just helps me like tick off everything that I know, everything that I've done, just to keep in handy of like how my revision's going, and so that I can track it. Another thing is, sorry, I'm just like trying to get stuff out of this because my folder's so big, it's full of stuff. So I have a lot of things in here. But for example, at the back of my folder, I have loads and loads of like past papers. So I'll have an English past paper, I'll have a maths past paper, I'll have sciences past papers. But what I do like doing is to avoid loads and loads of paper waste. I genuinely just do it all on my iPad because it's just easier. If you have a pencil, it helps a lot. I'm trying to go through each thing. Yes, so for example, for maths, that's circle theorems. Now, I don't really have like a maths textbook because I feel like maths textbooks are good if you're in year 10 and you're trying to like grasp the GCSE content. But when you're in year 11, it's a bit too late for that, and you should just be doing past papers after past papers just to get in that practice. So I did find that circle theorems, when I do the questions, they're fine, but when I'm trying to explain which circle theorem corresponds with which, that's where I struggle. So I just printed out like a PDF, I think it's from Corbett Maths, yeah, and it just explains each circle theorem and an explanation underneath. I'm gonna go quickly grab something, I'll be right back. So over the past week after mocks, for mocks, genuinely, I didn't really make checklists of things that I should do. It was because it was during the holidays that I had time, well, not time, but like it was after December holidays. Mocks was after December holidays. And because it was after December holidays, I had the holidays to go through everything and all of that, which was very good because for me, like they say, oh, don't do cramming, don't work on cramming, don't do that. For me, for mocks, cramming was really helpful because it didn't mean that I had a lot of, like, I would learn content the night before and I'd have my test the next day. So that was really good for mocks because it was quick, short-term memory. But for the real thing, obviously, I can't do that. So I've made checklists for every single subject. So I've got bio paper 1, bio paper 2. And I've literally just written out the topics in bio paper 1, written out the topics in bio paper 2, and I'm just ticking it off as I go along. So the top section for the table is topic, revised, and then past papers. So I've revised paper 1, but I'm using this more for like blurting it out. And then bio paper 2, I haven't touched it that much. So instead of doing past papers, I'm going to actually be revising the content. And then I've made one for history. Now history, we do 4 different subtopics. We've got Weimar Germany, we've got Cold War, we've got Elizabethan, and we've got medicine. So that's for history, that's a checklist I made for history. And then geography, I've kind of just combined paper 1 and paper 2 because I feel like our school does it in the way that we do some paper 1 content first and then we do paper 2 straight after, but then we go back to paper 1 content. So it's not very structured in terms of the specification of how the exam goes. So I've just listed everything out in terms of that. English Lang and Lit, all I've done is written the books and I've just written there's 2 language papers and yeah. I've got poetry as well. And then Latin language. Now, for Latin, it's kind of like you've got your like memorization in terms of the letters. Like we have a Latin vocab checklist and it goes by an order of the letters, so A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. So that's fine. However, I do have grammar that I do need to go over again because it has been a while since I've done Latin language. And then I've got Latin literature, which is Pliny, Messalina, Aeneid, which is prose and verse. So that's all in there. But yeah, that's the subjects that I do and checklists to help me revise. A lot of a lot of things that I was told when I was younger is make flashcards, make mind maps, make this, make that. I would say flashcards are really, really good for like your topic tests, and just generally small tests. But when it comes to revising for the big, big things, what's really, really helped me on my journey as a year 11 at the moment, studying for GCSEs, is just past papers after past papers after past papers, because I've noticed that a lot of questions are being repeated, and it is quite common that the questions are going to be very, very similar because there's only so much that you can actually put in. So that's why doing past papers a bunch is really, really good. Sorry if you can hear that in the background. My neighbour's been doing housework and it's really, really annoying, and I don't know why they're doing it at, what's the time? 6:25. 6:25 and you're doing housework. Anyways, so yeah, that's how I like to stay productive. There's nothing really much, but I do like what I've done, what I did. So this is advice for year 10s, okay? You're going to be told, oh, make all of these resources. And what I did during my like year 10 end of years is I just wasted time making resources and I didn't actually get to cover that much content. I would say if you're in year 10 right now, if I was to turn the clock back, let's say I had a test on, I don't know, like bio topic 4, bioenergetics. I would, as soon as I've covered that piece of content, or honestly, as I go along the content, I would just make not past papers, I'll make flashcards. And this is to help you in the long run, so that when it comes to your end of years, you don't have to make a stack of flashcards like I had to do. Even in year 10 summer, I was still making flashcards for each topic. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be doing that. So, as a year 11, I'm telling you, do not waste your time making resources, making them trying to look pretty. Honestly, you need to have the most condensed version of revision, but by the spec. So don't go too into like the topic. Learn what you need to learn by the spec. Treat the spec as a checklist and your best friend. Like, I have the spec. I didn't print the spec out because I feel like if I printed the spec out, it would just waste so much paper and it just doesn't, like, for me, it's not logical. But I use the spec as a checklist, and that's how I've generated my own revision checklist, and that's how I revise. I literally tick off everything, and it's so good for things like sciences and geography, and what was the other one that I used the spec for? And history. Yeah, sciences, geography and history. The checklist is your best friend because genuinely it tells you everything you need to know. I know the spec is very, very long and the PDF is just so like nitpicky. You have to nitpick everything. But genuinely, just read it and just learn your go over your topics just using the checklist on the spec, because it is so good. Like, everything you need to know for the exam is on the checklist. So I think on the spec. So I think that's super helpful. Another thing is, this is a long video, holy yap, but a lot of mistakes that I made in year 10 was leaving like revision to the last minute, which for me, like as I said, for mocks did help because I was able to, I think it helped in mocks because I just crammed past papers. It wasn't cramming knowledge, it was just cramming a lot of past papers, which helped because it was kind of like, right, past paper, and just question. And because the questions, when you do them back to back, they start repeating, so you kind of get into the habit of it all. And what I did was, for past papers, I made myself a 6-marker template. Now, for my 6-marker templates, I wrote what the mark scheme wanted me to write, because biology is very, very, very specific. If you miss out one word on there, you're going to get your marks knocked off. So I made myself a template that genuinely, it ticks off all the boxes for the mark scheme, and it really, really helps. What was I saying about the previous things? Oh yeah, in year 10, what I left to last minute was basically not understanding content. For example, I didn't really get the gist of homeostasis, and when it came to exams, I had to teach myself the whole topic because I left it all to last minute. So I would say, if you don't understand a topic, go home, watch videos on it, do questions on it, blurt it, mind map it, make revision resources on it, ask your teachers about it. Do what you can, because you do not want to be leaving that to last minute and then you struggling later on, because trust me, it does catch up on you. My biggest question in year 10 was also like, how do I revise? How do I get into the habit of revising? How do I actually put myself in that room, lock myself up? How do I actually lock in for this? Because trust me, I know that it can be very tedious doing all of this, and it can be very hard and at times, yeah, boring. But I always thought that if I don't do it now, when will I ever do it? And I just think, what is my end goal? Well, I have a goal at the end and I want to achieve it. So why am I stopping myself from achieving my true potential? Why am I stopping myself from achieving my true goal? It doesn't make any sense. So that's what really motivated me to revise. But also, if you're not motivated enough to revise, take a break. If you're sitting on that desk and you have absolutely no motivation, take a break. Come back to it 5 minutes later. Come back to it half an hour later. Because trust me, when you come back to it, you will get the gist of it and you will get the hang of it. Another thing, how do I revise for maths? Okay. Maths is just all about past papers. Like, when I tell you, even if you don't understand the maths topic, if you just do past papers on it, you will be completely fine. Because it's just all about practice and practice and practice and practice. For sciences, it's learning about, you have to make sure you've learnt the content and then do past papers. For maths, it's just practice. And I think that's one of the good things about maths, because you know when you're right and you know what you're doing is wrong. Like, you know when you've made a mistake, and it's a straightforward answer. It's not as if you have to write a whole essay on it. So I will wrap the video up now here. I hope this has helped you if you're struggling to revise, if you don't know how to revise, if you don't know where to get started. But honestly, I wish anyone who's going through GCSEs right now, I wish you all the very best of luck. I hope we all get what we want in the end. And to any year 10s out there struggling on how to revise, how to do the best they can, this video should really, really help you, and I hope it does. But honestly, guys, let me know in the comments what videos you want me to do, because I am quite like confused, not confused, but like I'm a bit, I don't know what you guys want to watch, right? So I did my previous video, it was a productive week in the life. This was how to revise, how to stay productive. I'm thinking, I think I know what I want to do for my next video. But I really, really, really would appreciate it if you let me know in the comments down below what you want me to do. Yeah, because I genuinely want to be more productive with uploading these videos, and I think, hopefully, to stay consistent and post at least one video a week. But yeah, thanks for watching my video. I hope you all enjoyed, and make sure to like and subscribe.